Kababayan, this is probably one of the highlights of my trip here in Hawaii, because before I left Los Angeles, I was asking Kababayans there of, possible story submissions and who they think I should be interviewing when I get to Hawaii, and they always kept saying Emme Tomimbang. And they didn't just say Emme Tomimbang, they always premised the name with the iconic Emme Tomimbang. And finally, you're here. Thanks to the Fil-Am Center with Ms. Rose Chirma, of course, for opening their doors to us and for inviting Ms. Emme for us. Magandang hapon po sa inyo.
Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. That's the right way to say it.
Yeah, the iconic Emme Tomimbang. Why do you think that is? Why do you think people refer to you as an iconic Filipino-American here in Hawaii?
Gee, I really don't know. I think it's just timing and being at the right place at the right time. When I started in media, in Hawaii, there were no Filipinas on the air in television or radio to speak of. And to tell you the truth, I was just getting into a field that I was quite passionate about, because my father started Filipino radio back in the day during the plantation era. And so radio meant nothing to me. But I did jump into television. I was waiting for a job as a teacher, and there were no openings. And as I said, just being at the right place at the right time, Channel 4 was looking for a weather girl. And I thought, well, gee, I don't know anything about the weather, but I'll learn.
Right.
So starting as a weather girl, and then working my way as a reporter, a documentary specialist, and then eventually anchoring the 10 o'clock news, and then leaving television on that level and opening my own business as a production company.
Years and years and years in journalism and television. What has it taught you? When we watch TV outside, like we see it in front of us, we have a different perception of TV, and then we see the glamour, we see the glitz, but from the inside, working your way up in TV, what have you learned?
Do you have all day? I think I don't know, there's just a lot of interesting life lessons on this journey of television. Just to be funny about it, first of all, it's not just about makeup and hairspray, okay? And it really takes a lot of juggling your schedule, being on top of your game, which is kind of being an expert in all subject matters without even being aware. I mean, every day is a new day, as you know. In television, you're just sent out on stories, and you have to get it, bring it back, edit it, put it on the air, and it has to be intelligent. So you need to really just be very, very flexible with each assignment.
Knowing a little bit about a lot of things. That's what they say, journalism and broadcasting. But then at the same time, we learn from mistakes. Can you recall like any of those mistakes and what you learned from that?
Well, the one story that I was thinking about on the way over here was when I was covering the Marcos story when they were exiled here. And it was a very important but a very painful position to be in, because I was a Filipina but American. And I had to walk the fine lines of the Filipino community, which here was generally for the Marcoses. And then I had to look at the news side of it, where, they were being accused of many things. And so it was constantly going back to New York and covering federal court, and then coming home to Hawaii and camping out at, Makiki, where they lived. But one of the things that I learned, and I have to share this very, very interesting story, when he died, I was one of the few to go in and get that story from Imelda, and I felt very privileged, but I also felt like I earned that, because all through the years that they were here, I gave them all the opportunity to respond. I didn't ambush them. I gave them a chance to, give me back whatever they wanted to say. And I'll never forget Bong Bong on a vacation trip that I had in the Philippines. He invited me to dinner, and he said, I just want to thank you for all the years covering my father and my mother and giving my father dignity when he died. And that just resonated to me, because as a reporter, you just want to get the story and be exclusive. You don't sometimes think about 10 years from now, what is that family going to say about me? And when he said that, I just thought, wow, when I made the decision to be as fair as possible, not take sides, it came back to be a very positive thing.
Yeah. How do you balance as a reporter? And you mentioned that. How do you balance? They say, listen to your gut, but then at the same time, how do you balance wanting to get the story, wanting to scoop your colleagues, and then at the same time being considerate of your subject's feelings and emotions?
Again, I always ask myself, what does it mean to get the big story for the 6 o'clock news? But how am I going to feel about myself 10 years from now? And how is that person that I'm doing a story on going to feel about me? And sometimes when you're caught up in the moment, you don't think that far ahead.
Right.
You just want to get down, get that on the air, and by hook or by crook or whatever it takes.
Because it's your job to tell the story.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But, I think when you have some deep-seated values and just, feelings about other people, that transcends to your work. And again, television news doesn't always take the best parts of your values, but you just have to breathe and think about it, and hopefully you make the right decision.